everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope everyone is staying healthy. I thought I would share with you some tips that I've learned along the way as being a homeschooling mom and a stay-at-home mom. So being in this situation from when the kids were little all the way up to, wow, I have a rising 9th grader, which is crazy. But I do understand, you all, that all of us are experiencing adjustments. And I know that many of you this week have experienced changes in your life where kids are home from daycare and school and where you all are working from home. And so that has definitely changed up how life is done and your normal. So what I want to do is I just wanted to share with you guys some tips that I've learned along the way, some lessons that I've learned, and that's what I'm going to do in this video. So just kind of like a broad overview. And then I'm going to do 2 other videos. One, they're very short. I'm going to do one that's just focused on kind of best practices or lessons that I've learned, things that I did when my kids were little, so that Puggles, Cubbies age group. And then I'm going to do another video on just some things that I'm doing in my current situation, and that's for my Sparks through Marvel. So I hope you guys check it out. I hope that this will be useful to you. Please use what you can, dismiss anything that you can't use. And so let's get started. So my first general tip is that you need to meet with each other. So you and your spouse, you guys need to carve out time where you can sit down and have a conversation with one another and just check in. And I know that probably you guys have been doing this, but a week has passed, and so this is a good point to just check in and see what's working and what's not working, and kind of take an inventory of the health and wellness of your family. And in particular, what you want to talk about are your needs, right? What are your needs? What do you see that you need? Maybe it's like, oh, I need to have more space, on my phone calls when I'm working, or I need to have moments where I'm not doing anything. I need to just be still. Whatever it is that you need, make sure you communicate that about yourself, your individual needs. And then you need to think about, what do you need from a marriage component? What does your marriage need? What are the ways in which this time is putting a strain on your marriage time together? And then go and inventory your kids, right? Take each kid and have a discussion about them, and be intentional about kind of thinking about where they are and what they need, especially for those kids who can't communicate that for themselves. Really try to be discerning and ask the Lord about that. And I think that that's very healthy to do. And it's something that you're not just going to do once, but maybe you can pick like a time of the week, or make a commitment to say, hey, once a week, we're going to check in with each other, and we're going to just check in about how we are doing emotionally, spiritually, and physically, so that we can make adjustments along the way. And I think that that will help you support one another through this process and work well as a team to support your children through this process. The other thing I would say is meet with your kids. So really invite their voice. For those of you that have kids that are old enough to communicate, and you know your children, you know how they communicate, be sure that you're checking with them all the time. Their world has drastically changed for the most part, and sometimes we have to be very proactive to probe our children so that they can share what they're feeling, what their concerns are, and then turn those things into prayer. And I think that gives them it teaches them, right, what we know we need to do is when we have our fears and our worries and our concerns and disappointments, we can turn those things into prayer. So be sure to meet with your children, see how they're doing, see what's going on in their world and in their hearts. My third tip I would say is limit the noise. There's a lot of noise going on right now, and I know that it's so tempting to just be plugged into the news and to, have a sense of like what's happening, because things are changing rapidly. But I would strongly advise that we limit the noise, especially around the ears of our children. And that's all children, all ages. So if you do want to listen to the news, like try to do so when your kids aren't around as much. If you're having conversations with family and friends about what's going on and adjustments in life, be mindful of the ears that are listening, because it does impact our children. Children are sponges. Their hearts absorb so much. It absorbs everything. And so we just want to kind of be mindful of what we're exposing them to. And another thing with noise, there's lots of noise on the web. There's lots of, tips and tricks and strategies and curriculums and just lots of information. And information as noise can kind of be like information overload. So just do healthy practices for yourself with how you're engaging your email box or your face group. Just be very mindful of that. And again, be very discerning for your own health and wellness at this time. My next tip is stay connected, and think of creative ways for your children to stay connected to their peer group as well. So if that's, Zoom little play dates, making sure that you're maintaining your relationships with your peers, and talk about something maybe other than the virus, like if you can, but just really stay connected. And in that connection, where you need help, get help. One of the things that we're going to be sending in your email boxes today or tomorrow is a list of educators within our community that's willing to be a resource and help you. So be on the lookout for that. So if you run into problems at all, get help. Don't try to just deal with your problems yourself. You're surrounded by community, so tap into community. And the last tip that I would have for this time, especially as we're all having, where life is feeling very new and we're being challenged in new ways, is do not compare yourself, your household, your situation, your children to anybody else. Really just focus on your family. Be thankful and grateful for, for the new things maybe that you're able to do together as a family because of this situation. But don't try to compare what your kids are doing, how clean your house is, or how together you are or not with anyone else. This was something that I really had to learn, because it's very easy to start comparing yourself and your kids to other people. It's unhealthy. Don't do it. And I think that when we do that, you get to enjoy the unique offerings that the Lord has provided for you and your family. And the last thing, I think I did say that was the last thing, but my very, very last thing, you guys, is live with an expectant heart that the Lord will do good new things for you and your family during this season. So as challenging and frustrating and disorienting as I know this is feeling for everyone, I know we've been experiencing that, wake up with an anticipation, with a heart full of anticipation that the Lord actually is going to do good for you and for your family at this time. So that's it. Look around for my other videos, and I'm praying for each and every one of you. Bye.